Hi, how are you? If you're a writer or screenwriter in general, you probably have time that feel you don't motivate to write, and you're wondering if it's because you're lazy or you're not passionate enough, especially when you see the people who is made it already or people who online seems get things done so easily as if they have all the motivation in the world. So that's when you start questioning of yourself whether or not you're supposed to be a writer or a screenwriter or an artist in general. If you are somebody creative, this video is for you. Based on my own experience, I want to share with you 4 reasons that you don't feel motivated to write or create, and how can you solve them. Today's video is going to be another coffee chat, and I'm not gonna drink coffee since it's afternoon. I'm getting up at 4 tomorrow, so I made myself an iced chamomile. Right now, this is one of my favorite afternoon drink. Maybe in the future, I'll share with you how to make it. And one more thing that's new to this channel, I bought a microphone. I don't know if that works. Okay, now I'm going to share with you the 4 reasons that you don't feel motivated to write or you procrastinate a lot. I have my notes here. First reason I put here is your mind is occupied, and then this is one of the top reasons for me when I don't feel motivated to write. When I'm saying your mind is occupied is that sometimes we have a mistaken notion that as if our mind can switch back and forth quickly, as if when we decide this time slot to write and then we sit down, we're able to write, and then that's really happen. Most of the time we can't just make our mind to go finger snap like that to go into a space of being creative. And then when your mind is occupied by other informations, that's when you're having more and more difficulty to focus on writing or even get motivated to write. That's the example for me, and this is why this is my biggest challenge. Is I have a day job, and I generally go to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I need to carve out the space to make YouTube video and then to still trying to publish my film to international space. If you are new to my channel, by the way, my film is actually on Apple TV in North America area, and you can check it out in the link down below. When I'm having so many different projects plus my day job going on, my mind is extremely occupied and is constantly filled with chaos. One thing in the mind is not a lot, but when you start adding into the second, third things, and then plus all the life business chores that you need to get done, all of those things, even you are not thinking about it actively, they are constantly occupying your mind space in the background. I feel that strongly, and that's one of the things making me feel like my brain's exhausted. I'm not at any place that feeling anywhere creative, have no inspiration whatsoever, and then that's the time that I feel least motivated to write. And then what other things you can do to help with this situation? I think the most important thing is from now on, when you schedule yourself, do not schedule based on your time, schedule based on your energy. And that's something I'm mindfully trying to practice all the time. When I scheduled today, I was going to have 8 hours day jobs, and I write the script for this video, and I was going to record this video. I was going to squeeze in another slot for writing or editing, but I told myself no. Even I have that hour of time, I don't have that hour of energy. I do not have that much of energy and the mind space to deal with it. So I carve out that space, that extra hour for reading or relaxing and simply just making tea. It's very important to schedule yourself based on the energy so you can schedule space for your mind to reset, for your mind to literally do nothing. Those space are the space that you can start processing all the chaos that relate to your previous work or the things that's occupy your mind previously. Or sometimes when you have this space, you'll start thinking about things that kind of inspire you. Somehow your brain starts wandering, and then wandering, getting bored, have daydream, all of those things are part of the writing process. And it's very important for any creator to going through boredom mindfully and purposefully to schedule yourself space to be bored. Boredom is one of the top most important thing for anyone who wants to be creative. And the second thing you can do, and I don't need to talk too much about here anymore, is to delete your social media apps on your phone. I delete my TikToks, Instagram, and the YouTube from my phone, and if I really need to look at them, I will download back again. I do have, I believe, YouTube on iPad, but I don't have the habit of carrying my iPad around with me. There are times when I'm so tired and overwhelmed, I kind of numb myself through social media. Sometimes you might have the same experience scrolling on YouTube or TikTok and for hours gone by. And you might think you're resting in those times, but you're not. You're feeding yourself lots of information into your brain, and then those information is not going anywhere for a long period of time. I feel that's very obvious for me when I'm using TikTok. When I go through TikTok video for even just a half an hour, and after that I can feel my mind is occupied by the feelings and things that I saw on TikTok, not consciously thinking about it, but it's like a feeling, a sensation of a chaos in the background of my head. And then those are the things make me impossible to write or create. I have no motivation whatsoever. So I start practice deleting TikTok unless it's the day that I'm posting TikTok video. Second thing might cause you not feel motivated to write is that you don't read or watch movie enough. As a creator, I don't know if you find it guilty about this. When life goes so busy, sometimes you don't read as much as you want, or you're a movie lover, you find yourself not watching that much film at all. Sometimes you're just on social media again or binge Netflix show mindlessly. So when I'm saying watching movie or reading books, I mean doing them consciously, like doing them in the purpose of getting inspired, in the purpose of learning about what is, in the purpose of fully submerge you into those creative works, and then to experience, to feel, to open yourself up, to get inspired. In that way, it can inspire you, hence motivate you to create your own work. I don't know about you, but a lot of time when I don't feel motivated, I go to watch movie that's supposed to relate to the film that I'm writing, or I have literally a stack of books. I don't know if you can see, but those books, these top 3 books are the books relate to the screenplay that I'm writing. It's other people's bios and novel. I use them as an inspiration for me. I just flip through looking for a couple paragraphs to read to get into the momentum of my story world, or I just watch my reference film for the screenplay that I'm working on. I remember back then when I was writing Beneath the Banyan Tree, my first feature film that I mentioned before, one of the biggest reference film that I have was American Beauty. That was one of my favorite film, and I literally play American Beauty once a day. I have back and forth like around 2-hour commute each day. So every day when I drive out, I start play first half of the film. When I drove back, I play the second half of the film. I believe at the time I probably went through the film like 50-60 times. That film, basically all the dialogue, even today, the tone of the dialogue, the music, the pace, everything is like ingrained in my mind. That's one of the things that I feel made me so motivated to work on my script, because I'm basically, instead of occupying my brain with the useless information or other stuff, I'm basically occupying my brain and brainwashing my brain with my reference film. I was not looking at it, I was just listening to it, and that itself is enough to motivate me to write. So this case is a great example of building your inspirational toolbox. It's movies, music, books, paintings, all the stuff that can help you work on your project and make you feel inspired. I mentioned the inspirational toolbox back then in a program that I released about artist mind reset, and I'm going to talk about it more in the future. What is inspirational toolbox specifically? If you are interested, remember to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to share more stuff with you about filmmaking, writing, or being a creator, artist in general. It's about the life of artists and how you get motivation, inspiration as an artist. Anyway, go back to the topic. So basically, the tip to solve this problem, that not watching movie or reading books enough, is to basically build your list of things. Carve out time to read, of course, carve out time to watch movie, but also have your reference, list all the stuff that's inspire your project, basically make them handy, and then use them when you really don't feel motivated. Buy all the film that relate to the film that you're writing right now, or the novel that you're writing right now, and then put them in a playlist on your iTunes, whatever device that you use, and then just play clips. I'm sure just a couple of scenes can be enough to inspire you to somehow get the motivation to at least work on a little bit of your project. The third reason that you don't feel motivated to write is your short-term goal might be too big for you. In this case, it happens to me a lot too. I tend to think, okay, in this month I'm going to write this entire draft of this second draft, the third draft of this screenplay. That itself, it's an overwhelming promise, because yes, sure, I can write a second draft, third draft, but what if they are not good? And then so I kind of stuck on trying to figure out what to write to make the story better or to make the character better. And then that's when I feel like not motivated to write, because I feel it was just too much work to do. So the way to deal with this situation is quite easy. Take your short-term goal and then really evaluate yourself. Basically check out your specific situation and then reapply the situation based on your relationship to the story and based on your, again, energy availability. There were a lot of videos on YouTube of writing an entire feature screenplay in 48 hours. I'm writing 5,000 words today, challenge, all that stuff. Those things only can be applied when you are absolutely doesn't care about the result of the work. And I do that. I do this kind of challenge, especially for my first draft. For the first draft, I never care about progress. I never care about the whether or not it's good. I just let it be and then basically word vomit everything out. So if you already on like later draft 5, 6, you're working on polish your story, 5,000 words a day or like 48 hours to write the screenplay, that's too much for you to do. And we don't want to basically eat one meal and gain weight, right? That's a Chinese idiom. I don't know if you have anything that's kind of similar to that. But basically, if you give yourself a big goal in a short term, you basically go back to the first problem, that you squeeze so many things in your mind and then you are completely overwhelmed and occupied. You don't have enough room for yourself to get bored, to breathe, to wonder, to think, to let your mind go wild, you don't have those process, then of course you're not going to feel as motivated. And then one of the biggest myths about motivation is that people think motivation just come like a snap, as if it's something that you either have it or you don't have it. And that's not how motivation works. I actually have another video. It's about the myth of motivation. I'm going to link at the end of this video as well as in the description down below. Motivation doesn't come with the snap of finger. It's actually built with momentum. So if you kind of break down your goal to small bite sizes, and only let yourself to do that little bit. Let's say, forget about the writing pages today. Only think about writing one thing, or maybe just one dialogue. I remember there were once I spent entire 5 hours writing one monologue, and it's actually my favorite monologue in my film. Let me know if you watch my film. Can you guess which is the monologue that I loved so much and spent 5 hours to write? Anyway, for example, a small bite size could be, like I mentioned, just one important monologue of the film. Or maybe just listing out all the possibility of your leading character's flaw and then what's the change of the character. Just to work on that little piece of thing, it's enough for the day. That's a good bite size that you can do. And the motivation comes from the fact that if you finish this bite, and then the feeling of accomplishment will fuel the motivation for you to go ahead to do the next bite tomorrow. And if you're constantly doing those small bites, those fuel will add up together, and then you will find yourself get motivated even more and more, and then somehow you are capable to accomplish more and then be more motivated each day. And then that's how motivation works. It builds on momentum instead of snap of finger. And then the fourth reason that you don't feel motivated to write is possibly whatever you're working on, you are stuck. You're stuck on your story. You don't know which direction you're heading. You don't know what to write next for next chapter. If that happens, there are two things you can do. Either you went back to reanalyze all the characters. Once you know the best about your character's flaw, where they from, what motivates them, and then what their needs and desire is, and in the end, what they will learn and who they will become. And once you find that arc, and then that's the best thing can help you driven the story moving forward. But sometimes going back to the beginning might be not a wise decision. So in that case, you can think about just move on. If you are writing specific story right now, and then you really stuck for a while and not feeling motivated to write this story, I think you can move on if you have other story that you are interested to write, and then go work on them a little bit. Trust me, whatever you're working on right now, it will work in your background while you're working on something else. And then somehow, whatever you're working on later will inspire what's stuck in front of you. I hope that makes sense. That works the best if you just allow yourself to keep writing and then let the writing to be bad. To basically write bad things, let the character decide to let the story move forward. But even though the scene is going to move towards a very cliche and stupid direction or very cheesy dialogues, just go with it. And then somehow the process of moving forward and then the process of writing bad stuff will help you processing the problem that you have previously, and it will start give you some clue. A lot of time I write a lot of very silly stuff, and somehow in the midst of that there were one thing that I can suddenly feel something about it, and I pick that out to go back to think earlier problem, and it helped me solve the problem. Never think about once rewrite your story is done. Rewrite is a constant process. When I made Beneath the Banner Tree, I rewrite even on set, and I also rewrite during editing process. We change a lot of stuff, and I even reshoot for entire day because there were a scene that was too cliche. I got a lot of feedback and I recognized it, and then now the new scene that we filmed, put back into the film, was one of my favorite scenes in the story, and it echoes entire theme of the film. So you never know when you need to stop rewriting, so don't worry about making things perfect in any of your drafts. And another thing you can do if you're stuck on your story is to do what if exercise. I do that a lot. So basically, whatever problem you're stuck on, write down what if questions. Basically, what if this person do that? What if this person's sexual orientation is changed? What if this person is a boy instead of a girl? Or what if this person decide to do something outrageous? Or what if this person was lying? Just all kinds of different what ifs that you can apply, even though it might sound stupid or it might have nothing to do with your story. Write them down. Write 50, 60 of what ifs. I guarantee you, in these 50 random what ifs, there will be one or two of them can maybe give you some clue to the problem that you're working on about your story. So give it a try. I hope that works. So these are the 4 possibilities that you don't feel motivated to write, and those are just all based on my experience. I'm sure there will be other reasons that make you not feeling motivated to write, and the point of this video is to give you angle to look into what's the possibility of you don't feel motivated, and then demystify that motivation is not come and go just like that. It's a process of you constantly working on yourself. You intentionally build it up with momentum, as well as creating that environment and creating your mental space and energy to help yourself develop it. And it's like a muscle. The more you're working on building motivation, creating motivation for yourself, the more motivation you're going to have in the future. Alright, I hope this video is helpful, and let me know what you think. And remember, if you like this kind of video or topic, subscribe to this channel, and I will share more of my experience and my process of being a filmmaker writer on this channel with you. And if there's any topic that you're interested in to see in this channel, let me know in the comment down below. If you haven't watched my film already, you can check it out from the link down below as well. And thank you for watching today's video, and be patient, be present, stay creative. I'll see you next week. Bye. Beep.